Hi, this video is about the Caribou Mathematics Contest. I'm going to show the solution for the November 2012 Grade 11-12 Contest Question 15. So the question is, the graph of y equals the absolute value of f of x is shown. Given that the graph of y equals f of x is a continuous curve, how many different possibilities are there for the graph of y equals f of x? So this is the graph for the absolute value of the function f of x. So what we want to find out is how a graph for the function of just f of x could look like. So for this question we will need to know what absolute value means. So the absolute value for a negative number is just the negative number multiplied by -1 to make it positive. So for example, the absolute value of -2 would be 2. And the absolute value for 0 or any positive number is just the exact same number written again. So for example, the absolute value of 2 is just 2. Okay, so let's look at the graph. So let's take any value of x. So for example, right here. So we can see that the absolute value of this function f of x would be up here. But we know, therefore, that just the function of f of x must be here or down here because it is the negative value of this. So we know that that is not just for this value of x, but for all values of x. So for example, for this value of x right here, the function f of x must be here or here. And again, for example, for this value of x right here, the function f of x must be here or right here. So we can see that it is the exact same form of the graph. Just mirrored about the x-axis. Okay, so now we can see that these are all the possible values of f of x. Okay. So one requirement from the question is that the graph of f of x must be a continuous curve, just like this one up here. So we can see that this one down here is the graph of f of x is a continuous curve because we know that if we find the absolute value, again, it is just mirrored about the x-axis. So now I will show an example for a discontinuous curve of the function f of x. So let's start with the graph of f of x, then we start down here, but then now for example, instead of continuing down this arc, we would then continue from wherever this value of x is and then the negative, and then we would continue there and then finish the graph. Now we know that that could work because when you find the absolute value of all the negative values of x, and then we see that that would be the exact same mirrored about the x-axis, but here you would just have the line, and then there would be a very big jump from here to here. So we see that it is a discontinuous curve, therefore it is not a possible function for f of x. So that tells us that for this whole interval of x, this must be either all positive or all negative. So we know we already have two possibilities. So therefore we can see that at this point, f of x equals 0. So then the graph can continue either positive or negative for this interval of x. So therefore we have two more possibilities. So then here at this point, we see that f of x equals 0 again. So again, the graph can can continue either positive or negative for this interval of x, because at this point right here we know that f of x equals 0, and therefore it can continue positive or negative. So since we know that all the possibilities and options are independent from each other, we see that we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 possibilities, which is 2 to the power of 4. And we know that 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, so 2 to the power of 4 equals 16. So we know that there are 16 different possibilities for the graph of y equals f of x. If you'd like to know more about this contest, please feel free to visit our website at www.brocky.ca/caribou.